Okay, welcome to episode 3
of pH labels.
of pH labels.
So,
Yeah, I was going to say something I forgot, like always.
it's not even 30 seconds of starting the podcast. How can you forget?
While coming here, I thought of something कि हाँ ये चीज़ से start करते हैं episode, but यार what was it? कोई नहीं छोड़ो. But हाँ, I saw that we got like 20-25 views on our first episode.
Yes, we were so demoralized कि हमको पहले दिन में सिर्फ 3 या 4 views मिले थे. And then now it's growing, so we are very happy about it.
Woo!
Also, if you're not watching it on YouTube, you can catch it on Spotify. The link is in the description.
You can catch it on Spotify, Amazon Music. You can catch it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, everywhere.
Okay, so how did your last week go?
My last week was amazing, as you might know that, as you all might know, it was my birthday. We talked about it in the last episode. The last episode was in fact supposed to be released on my birthday, but Miss Harisha here, somebody messed it up and released it one day earlier. But no worries, I had an amazing weekend. I partied, spent time with my friends and family, and I received lovely gifts. So I had a good time.
And how did my week go?
Describe your week, Harisha.
It was horrible, right?
I would
I was irritated because of multiple things.
Yeah, she was very irritated. We had like completely opposite
weeks. Yes.
Yeah.
But since you have grown a bit older.
And
not a bit.
I leveled up.
Just physically though. Not from his brain. But okay, that's fine.
It is just a construct.
Yes. And what are your thoughts about growing older?
Growing older, I don't really like. My friends को तो बोलता रहता हूँ कि यार I'm 22, I'm so old. Like मैंने like birthday के week में like 10 लोगों को बोला होगा कि यार 22.
10 लोगों को 10 बार बोला होगा.
10 लोगों को 10 बार बोला कि यार 22 is so old. Like I can't believe I'm 22 यार. मतलब I still feel like a बच्चा.
You are a bachcha.
I am a बच्चा. Yep. But like nothing. It's just another day. Whatever.
And how do you feel about growing old emotionally or psychologically? Do you feel any difference if you compare yourself from a couple of years back to where you are today?
We are different.
Or even 1 year back to today?
Oh yeah, definitely. A couple of years back, I was a chota bachcha, and like now I'm a thoda bada bachcha.
Very lame.
Very lame? Okay. Yeah, so...
I asked you for emotional and psychological impacts of growing old. Like, let's take just 1 year ka difference. 1 year old.
Well, definitely, like 1 year ago, if it might be 1 year ago, I was like a completely different guy. This is, I like to...
He's grown this much because I came in his life, by the way.
Definitely, sure. And even she has grown so much because I came in her life.
God. Yes.
We both have, like, this should be a podcast episode, like, how much we have just very soon, okay, real soon. How much we have grown over the past 1 year, like, so many experiences. Yeah, and...
So basically what would be the difference between how you perceive people now and how you perceive people 1 year back? Because
1 year...
I have met you since 6 months.
We met in October, I think. Yeah, October.
And since then, I've seen massive differences in you. In terms of how you see situations and how you see people. But I want you to realize it.
So I'll try to explain my complicated thoughts on this. So earlier I never used to. Sorry, you were saying?
Oh my God. Just explain.
Okay, yeah. So earlier I was like not the person who would just like meet them once and just like एक बार मिल लिया and I read them. कि like I started analyzing them and ऐसा कुछ am I like
Yeah, you're correct.
हाँ तो मतलब पहले ऐसा मैं नहीं करता था लाइक मुझे आइडिया ही नहीं था कि ऐसा कुछ भी लाइक कुछ होता है कि जस्ट एक साल मिला नहीं जस्ट फर्स्ट टाइम मिला और उतने में यू स्टार्टेड लाइक अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट पर्सन पहला ऐसे लाइक कुछ था नहीं बट अभी रिसेंटली आई नोटिस कि आई जस्ट एक बार मिलने एक या दो बार मिलने से ही आई जस्ट फॉर्म अ पिक्चर ऑफ देम इन माई हेड कि हाँ दिस पर्सन इज़ लाइक दिस पर्सन इज़ लाइक दिस सो दैट्स द मोस्ट लाइक नोटेबल थिंग दैट हैज़ हैपेंड टू मी इन द लास्ट 1 year कि आई जस्ट एक बार मिलने के बाद ही आई पुट देम इन लाइक व्हाट डू यू से अ बॉक्स ऑफ people. Am I making sense at all?
Yeah, you're making a lot of sense. Basically categorizing people.
Categorizing people, yeah. And I know it's like not the best thing to do, but yeah, I just find myself doing that. Ki haan, matlab, this person has traits of this person that I met last year and all of that. And a lot of time it matches, a lot of time it doesn't match. But yeah, this is a very particular thing that I have found myself doing in the last 1 year.
So how do you find people on your good category and bad category or medium category? How do you analyze that? Because the perspective differs from people to people, right? So how do you categorize it?
So categorize like my number one filter is just how much efforts they put into you. Like it goes both how much effort I put into them and how much effort they put into me. So that's the number one I would say filter I would categorize them on. कि हाँ मतलब हाँ like friendship के लिए कितना like मैं effort कर रहा हूँ वो effort कर रहा है.
And what if it's about dating somebody? Then what is your category like?
यार मतलब like I'm not the right person. I don't have I don't have that great an experience to talk. I don't have that great an experience to talk about this, but I guess it's the same like efforts.
Okay.
In like how much they want to like do this, how much I want to do this. मतलब हाँ balance होना चाहिए.
Basically, how much respect they give you and
respect definitely. Yeah, respect totally definitely.
I think that brings us to our topic.
Yeah, no man.
It took me 8 minutes to do this course of with. To bring it out of you, but it's not respect, it's morality. We're talking about morality.
Morality, okay.
Because efforts, I think, falls into morality.
Definitely.
First. And from the week I've had, this is the only thing that was going on in my mind.
Okay.
So I thought, why not? Let's talk about it. Because
good cold open.
इधर उधर की बातें तो हम हमेशा कर सकते हैं. But I think because it is an adulting podcast, why not talk about how you perceive morals as and how I perceive it, or what is going on around people, especially the people around us,
right.
Or the type of people we keep on meeting often.
Right. Cool. Let's talk about morals. Okay, by the way, like, you asked me that, like, I asked you the same question. In the last 1 year, how have you, like, changed...
I have changed massively.
I definitely know you have changed massively. I saw you 6 months ago and I see you now and you have
changed. You've seen me grow.
So in the last 1 year, how have you like has your perspective on people and like thinking? I don't know what I mean, but you know what I mean.
People, my perspective of myself changed.
Wow.
So that brings a complete different glass of viewing people.
Right.
Because earlier there was a different concept and then my concept changed. So how I see people, how I meet people also changed.
So like was there one thing that triggered this or was it a series of events?
Multiple things that triggered this.
Multiple things triggered this.
But I think more than that it was like I started feeling stagnant at one place and I wanted to take more risks in life. And you know,
and it is
in the past 6 months, I've taken so many risks and you know it.
Yeah.
So yes, I wanted to do that often, and I'm doing it now.
हाँ ये चीज़ आई हैव नोटिस कि मतलब हाँ ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन मतलब रिस्क इज़ अ वेरी वेरी एसेंशियल पार्ट ऑफ लाइक पर्सनल ग्रोथ एंड ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन.
Yes, very much. But I think the more you talk about morals, it is like nowadays it is attached to self boundaries when it comes to morals.
Okay, elaborate.
मतलब this is how I see it. मुझे लगता है कि your set of morals has to be clear. तब जाके you can, let people in and out of your life. Because you know कि ठीक है, who is respecting your morals and your boundaries.
Right.
So उसके साथ कितना comfort होगा. And if somebody is not, then it becomes very draining. It becomes a horrible experience. So you have to let those people go, no matter how many memories you have with them or how many, days or years you've spent with them.
Makes sense.
What are your thoughts about this topic?
I mean, it's such a huge topic, moral.
Yeah, but the first things that come to your mind.
It's such a huge topic. I don't know where to like.
What are morals for you?
What are morals for me?
Like your definition, not your morals, your definition of morals.
This is so wide. Okay, so for me, like morals are the standards that I live by, the standards that I.
You have standards.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going to get murdered after this.
Last episode you were gonna murder me. Now I'll murder you. Yeah, this is such a ask something specific. What are morals for you is very wide. I don't know how to.
मतलब how do you see morality as? मतलब एक word बोला तो उसके साथ what are those first thoughts that come to your mind?
So there is for morality so there is a filmmaker called Asghar Farhadi. He's an Iranian filmmaker, and I will go on morality through this angle of the films that so the films that Asghar Farhadi makes are about morals. Like they are about many things, but all his films have a common theme, which is about moral issues and how people react when they are faced with moral situations that do not
Match with it.
that do not match with their morals. So how do they tackle it? So the one thing I have learned about this is that it's very just the word I would use is complexity, because
Very complex.
Because like despite your morals, you sometimes will have to like crush them down and act against your morals because of situations that you are put in, because of just how complex the whole thing is, because your morals, all bonds are. तो मतलब the one thing I would say is कि like despite having your morals, you sometimes have to like make difficult decisions or make some choices that are against your morals, and you are not going to like it, but it's the only way out of that situation, something like that. Makes sense?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I would like to watch his movies.
They are lovely, man.
Because this is something I'm exploring a lot these days. Like the whole moral situation with the kind of people I'm meeting or the amount of socializing I'm doing these days.
Yeah, she's the like most very, very social creature she has become nowadays. Yeah.
Okay, so
So do you want to like talk about specific event or just like
just your perception of it, and we can explore it sometime down the line. Maybe do another episode or something.
Sure. So
what would be one? So by the way, he did not know we are going to talk about this topic, so all the questions are going to come from me.
Yeah, just for your information, every episode, one person knows the topic, and like, only after pressing the play record button, the other person reveals the topic, and so it's all spontaneous, it's all organic, it's all natural. And like इसीलिए मैं इतना जब हरीशा topic choose करती है तो I am always so lost, but I will try to improve. Okay, so
what would be one behavior that is absolute immoral for you? Like कुछ भी हो जाए ये तो नहीं चलेगा. type.
Okay. Let me think about it. I think I have one thing in mind, but meanwhile you go.
If you have one thing in mind, you
But
can
it's
why two?
okay. I'll say two things. First of all,
10 things. By the way.
okay. But like over the last 1 year, the things that I have learned the most, two things I've learned like that have like been stuck in my mind. कि हाँ मतलब ये तो मतलब definitely होना ही चाहिए. And like boring चीजें ही है, so it's not that interesting. But हाँ, two things: the respect and communication. Very boring,
Oh.
right?
Not boring, but
boring.
elaborate.
But elaborate. So okay, respect. मतलब for me, I have realized के like दोनों साइड से equal amount of respect होना चाहिए. Like if one person
You're just putting the word respect in different sentences.
but
You have to elaborate what respect.
I am elaborating.
Yeah.
But मतलब when there is not equal respect from both the sides, you feel के मतलब that person has an upper hand, that person can dominate you, that person can manipulate you into like doing that, and they can enter your brain and like just
Rewire your thought.
rewire your thoughts. Like what's that word? Gaslighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. तो मतलब
Gaslighting, manipulation.
यार मैं कहाँ से कहाँ आ गया यार.
No, this is true. It happens a lot because when you have a giving personality, so you tend to lower down your morals for somebody you care about a lot. And this, so I think everybody who thinks respect should come first have gone through this experience where they think कि नहीं यार मेरे साथ पहले ये हो चुका है. Ab anybody comes, my respect level or my self-respect will not bend down for anybody.
Definitely.
So I think every person who has this topic or this moral on top of their list have gone through this manipulation or gaslighting. And yeah, it makes a lot of sense also.
हाँ तो मतलब basically when you let your respect down or let your self-respect down for someone, it like crushes you down to such a level कि मतलब हाँ मैं तो कोई हूँ ही नहीं, मैं तो बस like इन लोगों के लिए हूँ. They will do whatever I say and I'll just bow down to them and just go with their flow. Like मेरी कोई choices नहीं होगी, मेरी कोई like
Codependency. Or dependency, not codependency.
dependency. हाँ codependency is another.
Another thing.
हाँ तो yeah, as I was saying कि हाँ मतलब फिर you don't have a personality, you don't have any choices, you just like go with whatever they want. You start,
Shadow.
you become a shadow. Wow, yeah. You become a people pleasing person. You have to have this like self-respect. And सबकी life में एक point आता है where you go through this experience and you learn कि हाँ मतलब this is the number one thing you have to have.
But I'm happy you learned it quite early at this age. It makes life easier later on.
You feel I learned it early. I feel I learned it very late.
No, it's very early. मतलब on time रखते.
I'm glad. And
What was the second thing?
second thing is communication. And I myself am very, very, very guilty of it. कि I never like पहले तो I never initiate like if there's
Initially you don't initiate. Become an innuendo, but okay.
initially I don't initiate, but what was I saying? Yeah, कि I'm guilty of it. कि like अगर there is something that I want to talk about, I will just like assume that the other person will start it for some reason. I don't know. I will not, if there is an issue with some person, I had a tendency to not bring it up. I had a tendency to just like indirectly or like just indirectly or
Issue as in if the person has issue with somebody else or issue with you.
no, if I have an issue with a person or like समझो कुछ झगड़ा हो गया.
Oh, this makes so much sense.
What do you mean?
Because this is what I've been going through since past few days. And
Interesting.
few things are going wrong and then I am literally stopping myself from creating the drama just because my humanity is prevailing.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
तो just adding a little more to it कि मतलब I never used to like मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम होता है तो I should be the person who should bring up this thing to other person, confront them. या अगर मेरी पे कोई गलती हो तो I should be saying sorry, but I just never used to. हाँ, my main problem was vulnerability. I never used to get vulnerable with people. कि हाँ मतलब communication करने पे थोड़ा.
That's a problem. I think that's a defense mechanism. We talked
But it wasn't a problem. Like other.
yesterday when we were on the call. So that is what I was trying to explain. Ki you analyze situation and people. If you feel better, if you feel close to them, then you open up and then you become vulnerable to them. And it takes a long process for you, matlab, the kind of person you are.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense. It's not a problem.
It is a problem. I like. मतलब अगर like 3-4 महीने भी मिल लिया फिर उसके बाद I'll start opening up with them. Like initially like 2-3 बार मिल लिया and you are comfortable with them. Suddenly I've noticed कि बहुत जल्दी people start opening up. मेरे लिए it's like
that is
I would
the guy you hang out the most with has a very open personality, and you are the exact opposite of him.
नहीं but अगर even if he is not that will I still notice कि मेरे लिए बहुत like it takes double or triple the time to just get vulnerable with people. And हाँ इसीलिए
Again, that is not a problem. I'm trying to change your perspective.
it is a problem yaar. You have to be vulnerable with people.
Why? Why is it so necessary?
That's how you get close to people. That's how you create a connection.
But your connection can also start building up on other levels. Okay, when we first met, just because we were meeting daily and just because we were talking about something or the other, that is why we became friends. Did not mean that we opened up initially in 2-3 months. And that's fine. It happened naturally. So now I know what kind of a person you are or how you see people and everything else. But it doesn't mean कि मेरे को या किसी और को ये चीज़ दिमाग में आएगी कि यार प्रिंस ने इतना टाइम ले लिया to open up.
नहीं सी मतलब नहीं सी like I believe कि अगर किसी के साथ थोड़ा भी मतलब above surface level, above what's that word ऐसे above superficial level, if you want to create a connection you need to like you just open up, tell personal things well whenever you are comfortable of course, but just mere threshold of that comfortable is very like large. इसीलिए I used to मतलब not bring up things that upset me or just like communication का level मेरा low था, but over the past year I have learned that this is a very 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 important thing, just because you have to keep your mind at peace. If you don't communicate you are going to like have anxious thoughts. Your mind is going to be like cluttered with all these things कि हाँ मतलब
You still don't do it, but what are you learning?
I am working on it. At least like awareness is the number one step. Awareness is the first step to this. So like I'm glad aware तो हूँ तो yeah I get lost track, but हाँ मतलब you have to get this out of your mind. उसके लिए communication is important. So basically just for mental health, not mental health, but just like free up your brain उसके लिए. So yeah,
There must be ways of freeing up your brain. You don't need to say things out loud to people for that. You can
processing, but like this is a thing that you could do. It's the right thing. Like मतलब मैंने तो इंस्टा पोस्ट में और वो सब मोटिवेशनल पोस्ट में ऐसा बना हुआ है कि like हाँ communication. So I believe you don't.
I think what you're talking about is specific to dating somebody and not specific to meeting people or creating bonds. If people know who you are, if people know how you act or how you go ahead in life, then you can make good friends. It's not necessary that you have to change yourself because you want more people or you want people in your life. I think who you are or how you process things is absolutely okay with the kind of people.
Yeah, you were saying?
Yes. So this guy had a call again, and that is why we had to pause, as always.
Sorry.
But yeah, so Yeah, I was saying ki you don't need to change this process just in order to have more people around you. I think it's about finding the correct ones, then about finding the quantity, or then about creating bonds just because you're hanging out with those people. If this makes sense.
This makes sense. You have to find the right people rather than just like
Yeah.
making
So
with anyone that.
if you are becoming vulnerable to 10 people, you don't know the quality of people you have.
Right.
But if you're making friends with just one person who is knowing who you are and goes through that process of you trusting them and opening up to them, I think that is more than enough. Then you can keep on hanging out with hundreds of people, doesn't matter.
हाँ मतलब हाँ बेसिकली वही कि लाइक इंस्टाग्राम में 400 फॉलोअर्स है बट रियल 4 फ्रेंड्स नहीं है वैसा थिंक बट हाँ आई एग्री लाइक क्वालिटी देन क्वांटिटी ओके सो हाँ व्हाट आर योर 1 or 2 or 10 or 1,000 things about morality?
Just a second. Yes, so I think number one thing for me would be clarity. Because with respect comes clarity. You have to clear your boundaries to somebody. Like, ye cheez hai, I will not tolerate this shit. If then they cross their line, then it is a clear sign enough that they don't respect your personal space or your personal thought process. And mostly, it's not like whenever disrespect happens, I feel it's not about two people not willing to, lower down their boundaries. It is more like always one person crossing the boundary of other person. So it's not 50-50. It's always
there is an imbalance of dynamics.
And that is why it happens. So I think clarity is more important, on which the respect thing depends.
Yeah, मतलब हाँ clarity होगी उसके बाद ही
Yes, because nowadays people don't open up that much. So I think
अच्छा मतलब 90s में लोग open up होते थे उतना
emotionally, yes, because they did not have another 1,000 people DMing them on social media to make them friends with, or going on dates on Tinder or Bumble and, creating that bond. They had a few set of people and they were happy with that. So I think in a way that life was easier emotionally and mental peace-wise. Social media has created quite a ruckus around this, but okay.
How ironic. The purpose it was created for
has become a problem now.
Yeah.
Because people are over socializing. Because everybody knows that ठीक है इसके साथ नहीं काम किया, I'll move on, find somebody else. They don't try to sort their things. They don't
exactly. They don't try to communicate
or just show the other person how important they are, at the same time maintaining their self boundaries. But ठीक है, that is a topic for another thing. Yes, so clarity is number one thing that steps above respect. If you want to clear things, you can talk it out. But if things are clear and if the other person does something shady, then it is an absolute no for me. Then that person loses trust.
That person loses your respect. Yes. Clarity also, I think, ties into communication as well.
Yeah, 100%. But clarity about a certain thing, not about everything as well.
Right.
If I want my boundaries clear with somebody, I don't need to tell them everything that is going on in my life. No. I'll just communicate what is needed.
And communicate the length to which you guys can go and the length to which you guys can share things, do things together.
Yeah. So this was immorality, love. Let's talk about good things also. What is the best thing that
Okay, so you only talked about one thing, so you're...
Yeah, I have a list.
Okay. You can talk about...
Clarity, it would be respect. And so it has good things also, but then...
Okay. So yeah, what's your question?
What is the good thing that wins your heart and people when it comes to morality? Because everybody have their own set of things they want to do in life, not physical goals, but emotional or mental rules and regulations they follow. Indirectly, directly, pata hai unko ki nahi pata hai, but everybody does follow. So what would be the one best thing कि यार मेरे को ये सीखना है इस person के पास से ऐसा.
Okay. I'd like you to go first.
Oh my God. So one thing would be if the person cares about how much respect you're giving to them. If I'm giving you respect and you care about it enough,
Right.
then it becomes a very good bond, I feel. That you realize कि ये इंसान इतना कर रहा है मेरे लिए.
Effort.
I absolutely care about how this person is treating me. Not effort, it's about appreciation more. So that is a huge green flag for me.
How much they appreciate what you do for them.
Yes. Because I have a giving personality. And I would, so the people around me, I would 100% do more than what they would do for me. But if they appreciate what I do, I think it's a huge green flag for me. But at the same time, I would not appreciate no efforts. But that is an after thing, yes.
Yeah, okay. Any other thing you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Positive.
Yeah.
You.
I think how the other person is opening up to your set of morals. मतलब कितना openly वो उस चीज़ को देखने के लिए ready है. कि ठीक है, this person has these boundaries, because I face it a lot, being a highly sensitive person to energy, to vibes, to emotions, everything. If somebody understands that कि ठीक है, इसको ये चीज़ें इतना affect करती है, and if they help me go through a place or meeting through people, they realize that I've become uncomfortable and they try to make me comfortable. That is another huge thing for me. That they try to understand you on a deeper level instead of just, maintaining a borderline bond.
Caring and considerate
Yeah.
person.
Chivalry, basically.
Chivalry, right? Yeah, considerate person as well.
Yeah. You also top the list in that, because that's a general opinion that you are very caring.
Am I caring?
Yeah. You've not heard it from me.
I have.
From
Yeah, I have heard it.
multiple other people.
I have heard it, but okay.
Because you think.
Can you say that once, dude?
Yeah, of course. Because, so you've heard this quote many times, chivalry is dead. It's not a quote, it's a fact. Very few people are this chivalrous, and so I think you can take this as a dating tip also.
Sure.
That if you are chivalrous, women fall for it.
Yeah, you gave me this, and many of our friends also
You the same tip.
gave me this tip. Okay, and how like women will fall for this kind of stuff.
Yes, because men are not chivalrous these days,
Okay.
and women like men who
Caring, chivalrous.
Yeah, care for them, pamper them, remember things they said
Yeah.
before, and be very conscious
then you
about
have
it. Yes.
Okay, makes sense.
Yes. So top of your list.
Top of my list is of just being a very kind and a very helping person, because over the last over time I have learned this key. I gravitate more towards to kind and helping people. The best example, definitely. Yeah, definitely you are among the top. But the best example I can give is of my late father. He's the most he was the most kind and most helping, most caring person that I knew. And everybody, every relative, every friend of his, the one trait everyone used to know him by, everyone used to remember him by, is that he is a very kind, honest. He was the kind of person that would never do wrong to anyone. So that's the trait. And even my father himself, he used to महीने में एक दो बार ऐसे लेक्चर होता है ना फ्रॉम पेरेंट्स, तो उसमें the number one Tindora I used to beat was about this.
Where I used to beat, I like this.
हाँ तो मतलब हाँ kindness, like be helping towards people and they will be helping towards you.
I think a lot of his traits then fall into you as well.
Yeah.
Because I have not met him, so I cannot realize how much. But the way you are talking, yes, there are many traits that have come to you, even from your mom. A lot of
What traits from my mom?
similarities you both have.
So what similarities have you noticed me and my
So I met your mom only once, and you know how brief that meeting was.
Yeah, it was like 30
Then-
seconds.
10 minutes her being around, not
Being around, you talking was like 10-15 seconds, I guess.
I need to meet your mom and gossip with her about you. Yeah,
ऐसे करोगे तो like बस
she'll be shocked.
नहीं तुम लोग मेरा रोस्ट ही करोगे. Like there is one friend who meets my mom and whenever she meets my mom she just keeps on roasting, like दोनों मिलके मेरी रोस्ट करते हैं. हाँ तो मतलब वही.
I'll add to the list. नहीं थोड़ी तारीफ कर दूंगी, don't worry.
Yes.
थोड़ी तारीफ कर दूंगी.
So बस हाँ, my number one thing is like trying to be as kind as I can be with other people.
Yeah. And
Okay. And how? Okay. So apart from my father, there's a senior in my office who is also of this very nature. And everyone in the office, I think, likes him. I like him a lot. He's just very helping and very charming and very like how you will want to talk to them and yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. But the fifth, how you feel very
you feel comfortable around their presence.
yeah, you feel comfortable around their presence, and
So I feel all these traits have an experience behind it, I feel.
definitely.
If I am helpful, if I am a giving personality, probably it is because growing up, I have learned that, or I've seen that people need more of care and comfort. So maybe over time I've become like this. So I feel it is the same with immorality also. That somebody has gone through some shit and that has become their
Trait.
problem. Yeah. But everybody can change and open up and learn. That is a different story.
Matlab the same thing can affect two people very differently. Like
Yeah.
so if two people go through the same thing, like one will gravitate towards one thing and the other will gravitate towards other defense mechanism. It can be positive, it can turn into negative. But
So I think there is no middle ground for it. Either you become extremely new person after a certain situation that has happened in your life, or you become utterly depressed. There is no in between. Like either you can rise up from it or you will fall down. You cannot stay on the same ground after a situation has happened.
I don't think
For example, if two people have been friends for the longest time, and if one situation goes wrong, so there will always be one person who wants to sort things, and the other person will be like, "बहुत हो गया इसका, भाड़ में जाओ." But yeah, in that case also, the one person out of the two also, one person will definitely be open to changing, open to welcoming new people in their life, and one person will be like completely depressed. Ki yaar, I miss this person, or what went wrong, what did I do wrong, stuff like that.
you can either like grow out of it or you can like just go into this deep.
Yeah. So it's all psychological, I feel. I think everybody has their own way. But I feel certain things are absolutely no-go. मतलब ये तो नहीं ही होनी चाहिए. Of course, number one is disrespect, and number two will be double-faced.
Oh yeah.
Because that is something I don't appreciate. Saying something to my face, saying something behind my back. Especially people who you've been kind to. And then that shit hurts. Even though you don't do anything about it, it hurts. of lately I have learned, in the past year I have learned कि ठीक है, उसने जो किया, don't react to it, maintain your mental peace. But you are not God, you cannot completely detach from that emotion of pain you feel or the hurt you feel. And that is something I think
very sad,
irritating. Yeah. It triggers a lot of unwanted emotions in you, and then you have to process it. Because I'm into a field of healing, so I know what impacts it will have on me if I create unnecessary drama. So
for you, it must be like it totally interferes with your work.
With my work, with my days, with my sleep cycle, everything.
Right.
So that is why I've learned to process emotions differently.
Like if this person does this thing, the only thing you can do is just try
let go or keep distance.
Yeah, try to let go, keep distance, ignore them.
And sometimes I've been telling you this a lot lately, that my humanity is a problem for me now. इंसानियत इतनी आ जाती है.
And to this I have replied so many times कि हाँ मतलब थोड़ा मतलब what did I use to say?
थोड़ा सा I need to learn how to put people in their places. This is what I feel. कि मतलब थोड़ा सा तो I can,
हाँ मतलब don't be so like pleasing.
I'm not pleasing.
Not pleasing.
More like दूर रहो types.
हाँ मतलब don't do things for them if they don't do things for you.
Yeah, true. That is there. Again, efforts.
Everything ties into efforts and communication and respect. मतलब यही चीज.
Also priority.
Totally priority.
How much priority you give other person and how much priority they give you.
And totally ties into.
Oh shit, how can I forget this? This is also another absolute no-go for me is people say something and do something absolutely opposite. This is not two-faced. This is like promising something and not doing it, like not keeping up with your words. Don't say it then. This problem I faced just yesterday night. So this is very fresh.
गरम करके फेंकना छोड़ दिया.
But yeah, so जो बोल रहे हो वो करो या फिर मत बोलो ना. कौन बोल रहा है बोलने को? Nobody's asking you to speak or promise something. ठीक है, मत नहीं करना है तो बोलो भी मत. Don't give fake hopes or don't give a bait to somebody who is going to wait on your words. Like you're wasting their time.
And I'm facing the situation right now, like with my work related something, and it hurts. It really, really, really hurts when some people promise things and
not
deliver on what to.
But you are talking about deadlines. वो लोग genuinely कुछ और करके not deadlines.
No, not deadlines.
What I'm talking about is completely moral aspect.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's not deadline related thing.
Okay.
Now basically promise करो तो निभाओ उनको. True. Okay, so what are the things tying into morality?
Okay. So how do you think your morals are impacting your bonds with your friends, your bonds with your family, your bonds with somebody you used to / are dating or will date? मतलब I feel हर इंसान के morals in different situations are different. Like I cannot have the same morals with you or somebody I'm dating or with my family, right? So एक होता है how is your perspective in all those three categories? Like there are more categories, but especially these.
Right. Okay, you go.
I have asked the question, now you will go first.
But it's such a wide, I don't know. Could you ask a bit, could you get a little more specific?
Okay, let's start with family, like how your bonds are with your family and how do you see your morals playing in your family dynamics? A lot have changed, I think.
Okay, so one thing
But a lot has changed, but ठीक है, फिर भी you can still somehow analyze घर में चीज़ें कैसे चल रही है. Like immediate family, not extended family.
To one thing that I have recently learned that I can talk about is
Not talk about, like how you see your morals playing a part in your relationships with your mother and your brother. कुछ तो होगा मतलब something little bit. I know you're very caring. I know you're very considerate. Whenever they call, whenever they talk to you, you are open to, saying yes to everything they want to do or if they need any help. But apart from that, if you are, say, just have gone out for a dinner with them, like, what would be the best thing and what would be the worst thing, which somehow caters to morality. इससे ज़्यादा मैं clear नहीं कर सकती इस question को.
But still, yeah, like...
Or you've not thought about it.
Yeah, I'm not thought about it. Really, it's family. You spend time with them. You be yourself with them. I don't know how, like, इसमें, like, morality
plays part everywhere. It also plays part with yourself. I think we should start with that.
I still don't know exactly how I should talk about this.
I think you're lost in some other thought.
No, I'm just... Let's clear it first. Morality. What exactly is morality?
मतलब खुद के जो भी self love के rules होते हैं उसकी बात कर रही हूँ. So if I'm talking about myself, sometimes you tend to lie to yourself. This is very common with everybody. It is a very unintentional thing, but like everybody does it if you try to consciously think about it in the next couple of days or a week. It's more like कि ठीक है ये करना है मैं कर लूँगी, I can do this, I can do that. It's like it's between your two personalities. एक दिन जब आप बहुत motivated होते हो,
Oh, yeah.
you are on point with your morals, and the other day when you're absolutely lazy or you're annoyed with something or the other, then you lie to yourself कि ठीक है हो जाएगा ये कर लेंगे वो कर लेंगे इतना तो किया उतना तो किया. When you know that you've not done this thing, when you know you've not really fallen into your own promises to yourself. So I think that happens with everybody, but it's very basic.
You are not honest with yourself.
I think not everybody is.
And everyone is not honest with themselves sometimes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Of course. And I think the same thing goes with family. So family में it's more like एक तो other time when you want to do stuff, especially in Indian household, you might have to lie. So it's like ऐसा बोलते ना सफ़ेद झूठ काला झूठ पकड़ा जाता है तो दुख होता है. सफ़ेद झूठ पकड़ा जाता है तो it's like ठीक है जो भी क्या अच्छे के लिए किया है ताकि ज़्यादा ड्रामा ना क्रिएट हो. So I think that is something that happens with family dynamics. But I think other thing would be because that is how I have been brought up in my family, that they respect my choices. So that is the number one thing I have learned from my family, not from outside world. But somehow then you fall into a toxic cycle and you don't really pay attention to that. But if I introspect my own self, I think my parents have always respected my choices, whether it is about my career, whether it is about the lifestyle I want to live, what I'm doing with myself, how am I living my life. Of course, lecture देना सब parents का जन्म सिद्ध अधिकार होता है. But उसके साथ they have always tried to know my opinion on things. Especially when it is about major decisions in life, whether it is about getting married or whether it is about choosing a career, how you are earning money, how you are making yourself financially independent. Everything falls into this category.
Right.
So I think that is a huge thing and I'm really grateful for it. You've met my parents, you know how they are, and you know how...
They're the sweetest parents I met.
But yes, they have their own issues, then they have their own no-nos there. And that is everywhere. But yeah.
But this is a very positive trait ki they respect you. They like want to know your opinion on everything. Like you have a value.
Yeah.
Very, very.
even though I keep on teasing them that they love my brother more, but I know कि मैंने मना कर दिया तो they'll not cross that line. So they respect my no.
Right.
I think that is very important.
हाँ तो इसमें एक point also I like to add कि हाँ मतलब it's very very essential for the parents to like instill this early on.
Yeah.
Just take their opinions, ask them, take them into consideration, like make them feel valued, because it definitely like when you do this in your childhood, it like bubbles up into adulthood and you make them this very like when you take their considerations, it makes them into this person who is very like confident in themselves, who can like
go out there, be around strangers, basically.
Yeah.
Go out in the real world.
Go out in the real world. Just feel valued. Parents say like start with all the values, all your morals. It starts in the family itself. So instilling this in that nurturing age will like definitely create a great impact in their adulthood. The one thing about morality I can say, recent incident, because my father passed away 4 months ago, I faced a moral dilemma of like continuing with my passion of passion, or joining the business. Yeah, joining the business, because there's only my brother now who manages it. And yeah, it's like it's a no-brainer. Like it felt.
I think it was a very difficult time for you because you were constantly lost. कि क्या करना चाहिए, because one side it was you and one side it was helping your family and doing everything to support your family in the hour of need.
Yeah, and like for most people it's a no-brainer कि हाँ मतलब definitely go as your family. My brother and father have set up this business and like grown it very well for the last 5 years, and here I am like pursuing my passion and like not being able to help my like family who needs me, because like for one person it's difficult to manage, but still I went ahead and made this difficult decision of like continuing with my career of passion, because like
it is beautiful to see how they supported the decision, because they needed you more than you needed their support.
Yeah, they definitely did it.
Actually very beautiful to see how they've grown to support it.
Yeah, they have definitely supported me, and they didn't like explicitly force me or anything, but they did want me to come, but still they respected my decision, because I was I was always sure कि I don't want to leave this field. It's my field of passion. I have gotten this lovely job that I want to keep pursuing. In 10 years, I don't in 5 years, I don't expect, but I don't see myself working in the business that, in the family business, because it's not
aligning with your life goals.
Not aligning with my life goals. And art, as I said, as we talked about in the last episode, it's a very important part of me, and I am in that field. So it's not just a passion, it's like a way of life for me to storytelling basically. So it is very important for me. It was very important for me to stay in this field and make this difficult decision. But thankfully, my brother and my mom have been supportive of this. And even I can 5 years down the line, even my brother can have his own field, and I can excel on my in my own field. So both sons have good work going in their own separate careers. That's like the goal के दोनों different fields में excel कर रहे हैं, and basically difficult decision, but I am 100% sure I made the right decision.
Yes, that's true.
That was a recent moral issue that I faced, and still there are people who kind of don't like me for making this decision, But
And they are not your immediate connections. Like,
yeah, not immediate.
they are just outsiders.
Outsiders.
Judging your situation.
Log kya kahenge kind of.
Yeah, so that doesn't matter.
But it hurts. I don't blame them. Of course, in I'd like in for everyone it's like हाँ यार फैमिली बिजनेस ज्वाइन कर लिया चाहिए क्या कर रहा है बट यार आई डोंट नो I made the right choice is what I feel and as
your mom and brother are okay with it.
It doesn't matter, nothing else matters.
Opinion is trash.
Yeah, everyone's opinion is trash and that's what I convinced myself कि हाँ just ignore them.
So I read this thing on Instagram and I keep on saying this thing to myself a lot when some others' opinion is completely based on their judgment of me. Splish, splish, splash, your opinion is trash.
Wow.
Yeah.
I should save that post and like view it whenever I feel anxious about my choices.
I think you should make it your phone wallpaper.
Yeah, I should. Splish, splish, splash. Your opinion is trash.
Splish, splash, your opinion is trash.
Okay, so what?
So that's about family. What about friends? What about if you're dating somebody?
But morality.
I think you faced moral issues there also recently, but very minor ones.
As I said in the beginning, yeah, I think
with friends it is a place where you can absolutely have all your morals in place, and if they respect it, then if the bond grows, it is very beautiful because that will be a lifelong bond.
Right.
फिर वो ऐसे 6-8 महीने वाली दोस्ती नहीं होगी कि भाई बाद में झगड़ा हो गया and you just
drifted apart.
Yeah. So I think that is very important. So I think friends are the okay, we can still let go because it's very common, it's very open. But what about if you're dating somebody?
As I mentioned in the first thing, I guess like सबकी like list में यही number one चीज होती है efforts वाला. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would say efforts and communication. It's the same basic thing. Yeah, I don't know how like specific.
I think if you're dating somebody, the only thing that adds to your list of morals is how you process attachment. Attachment to the person, how you process it. Because if attachment में आके expectations हो गई, then your morals will be completely, sidelined. Because then you'll do everything out of attachment. So I think for everybody, understanding what their attachment style is very important.
Okay, yeah.
And then again, love languages. Because everybody's love language is derived out of what they think love is or what they think.
Yeah, the perception of love.
Yeah. Connection is, or also something which is missing in their life.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that is
some wound that they want to fill with this relation, some void that they want to fill with this relationship. The thing that you don't get in your childhood, you look for it in your relationships, in your friendships.
In childhood also, or in while growing up or in your career, when you don't have that support to fall back to, I think that becomes your love language because you want that care and comfort. And that type of care and comfort which you really feel comfortable around.
So the things you don't get in your personal life, career life, childhood, you start looking for them in your relationships. And you expect that out of that person. You may be aware of it, you may not be aware of it.
But I did not realize this attachment style in me first because I learned it through my clients. कि ठीक है इतने लोगों के इतने different issues है, इतने different types of relationships है, and this is why they are acting in this particular manner. Because I was an outsider, I could see that clearly, and then I could analyze my own self very, very, easily. because I had seen multiple examples. I have been helping people through that. I have been helping people get back together or get out of a toxic or abusive relationships. So I think that particular thing is the key, what holds it all together. Okay, how attached you are and
how you
where that falls. Like, is it becoming toxic or is it becoming too lame that you're not able to hold everything together? So you need to find the perfect balance of attachment where you are also catering to the other person and catering yourself.
very, I guess, thin line that
Yeah, very thin.
be able to.
And it never stays the same. It depends from situation to situation all the time. But once you're aware of it, it becomes easier, which I realize it now.
Okay. So one thing I read about this thing is that her relationship mein there is always an imbalance ki like 60-40, 70-30, 55-45, but it's never ever 50-50.
It is 50-50 some days, but then it also two people have to be aware कि कहाँ पे किसको ज़्यादा efforts देने हैं. If that dynamic is clear, your relationship is going to blossom.
But still, even if that's clear, I guess.
So I feel sometimes if you are irritated, you will need more care and comfort and the other person understanding or giving more importance to you. But the main problem is when two people are fighting internally. That is when you have to figure out कौन कब कहाँ ज़्यादा efforts देगा. That is the perfect balance वाला चीज़ जहाँ पे आना चाहिए.
Yeah, उससे another line I had read quote वो याद आया कि whenever you are in a fight, it's not you versus them. It's
both
you
of you versus the problem.
It's both of you versus the problem. The small sweet thing that I read.
So in my experience, there are a lot of men who run away when they have to face a relationship issue or when they have to cater to a situation which is created and that is creating a lot of disagreements or arguments between two people, especially couples. So all the readings I do, 90% of the people coming forward are females. That, I have given efforts to contact this guy and he's just ghosting me because so-and-so problem happened. And I think that is very heartbreaking to see because women are very emotional caregivers. They are very comforting when it comes to emotional problems. But if the man doesn't show up, so honestly the thing is the man has to be just open to listen. तो लड़की सब देख लेगी, like she take over the whole argument, मतलब चिल्ला भी लेगी उसके बाद संभाल भी देगी. But you have to be present. Yes, you have to be willing to sort the issue.
You have to be willing to listen. You have to be available. You have to basically have communication again.
Yeah.
Willing to talk and willing to listen, both.
Very important. Also, the importance of saying no. I think that is to be learned.
Yeah.
Because people cross that line a lot.
And people are going to do that if you don't create boundaries of your own.
Also learn to saying no, also respecting somebody's no. Not only consent in physical relationships, but also emotionally, mentally, if some person is not available. You cannot judge them just because they are saying no. It's their own choice. It's their
boundaries, respecting person boundaries. Even if they're uncomfortable to talk about something. Okay.
So my last question would be, how do you deal with somebody who makes an immoral step towards you? And suppose you have a good bond with them of lately or you share a good rapport with them. Like not too close also. Because if you're too close with somebody, you can openly talk to them about it.
Yeah.
But somebody you are comfortable with, so how do you deal with them? Like उन्होंने कुछ ऐसा कर दिया which is creating rage with you. How do you?
I can say you want to talk about it so much.
Yeah. off the podcast a lot, on podcast just how you deal with it, because how I am dealing with it or how I usually deal with it is very different than probably how you would deal with it. Or maybe might be same also, but I don't know.
Because of the past me, what the past me would do would is just like I guess like on कि मतलब एक बार हो गया तो like कोई नहीं देखते हैं like and keep being friends with them. अगर like दूसरी तीसरी बार हो तो I'll just start creating a distance. I won't communicate with them. That's what the past me will do. The current me I would what the current me would do is just to like bring it up lightly with them, I guess. कि हाँ मतलब you did this thing मेरे साथ थोड़ा मुझे ऐसा लग रहा तो and just listen to what they have to say. If they are accepting कि हाँ I crossed your boundary or I did something I made you feel bad, then okay, like.
And what if they don't tell you?
If they don't tell you, if they are not accepting that they have done something, if they say
I'm not open to it. Yeah.
if they say things like I'm sorry you felt that way rather than I'm sorry for
That's called gaslighting.
feel this way, sorry.
That's called gaslighting.
Yeah, हाँ तो मतलब हाँ communicate तो कर लिया तो if they are not accepting of it then I guess distance is the correct step, because even I would want some peace after that. I would not like to be around the person who is not accepting of like my limits that I have put and that I have communicated. One or two times I can let go, I guess. But if they keep doing that, then distance, I guess, is probably the step I may go with.
Yeah.
What's your take?
I think distance is what I'm using currently, but I feel depends what kind of moral boundaries they are crossing. If they are just disrespecting my choice, then I would go up to them and tell them that mera ye tha, you did this, and crossed my personal boundaries. So I'm not comfortable. I'll step back. This is situation one, which also I'm doing currently. Other situation is I'm giving the person space कि वो आके बोले, yeah, if they are communicating something, they would tell me what they've done. Because ऐसा तो है नहीं कि कोई bond ऐसा नहीं है where they cannot talk to me. So I would give them that space. If they are still not opening up about what they've done, and I'm already aware of their wrongdoings, I would safely take my self-respect and keep a lot of distance. Because I do not appreciate shady behavior. I think for that I will not go samne se and talk to them. Because they crossed the line, then why should I go and talk? They are not the ones to tell me first of all.
Yeah.
So I think that is where I have a clear set of rules ki they did not respect me enough ki wo aake baat kare, they open up to me even if you indirectly talk about it a lot. Then why should I give more energy to that particular situation? Then they can just buzz off,
Where's that?
Yeah. But again, then in certain situations, you tend to help them without analyzing them as a person, which also I did recently. Then you feel shitty ki yaar, क्यों किया इनके लिए?
They treated me like shit and like
and I help them, but ठीक है,
very
learning every day.
right. Even I would I don't know what other way there is to go about this. Just cut them out, I guess.
Okay, so I think that brings us to the end of this heavy, emotionally opening up episode.
Personal episode, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, but I think I would really... What are you doing?
Sorry. I'm playing with her things.
He means crystals.
I'm playing with her crystals.
But yeah, I think I would like to talk more about such different emotional parts of life rather than just talking about very general things in life. I mean, we can do both, but this is also important because I feel, chalo, 10 लोगों ने ये एपिसोड सुना और 10 में से एक जने को उनकी सिचुएशन में कुछ हेल्प मिल गई, then it's our work that there is done, which is the key behind why we started this podcast, somewhere indirectly though. हमको बकवास करनी थी इसलिए भी चालू किया है, पर ठीक है.
True. But I like हमारे लिए start किया podcast, but it's also like if it helps one person, then it's totally worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like I just want to apologize for like being a little lost.
I think whenever I choose topics, you are lost
Yeah.
because you're not prepared.
How would I be?
You have to work on your improv skills
Oh yeah, I did.
and your spontaneity.
And yeah, I'm spontaneous. I don't know what exactly is the issue here.
No, the issue is I'm habituated with this. You are not. That's the only thing. मेरे को unknown लोगों के साथ बकबक करने की आदत है because that is my work. I keep on doing it every single day.
Yeah. Okay, I am going to work on this thing and I will be more prepared next time.
But it's not a problem because when I started out, I was pretty much like you. And when it comes to people, then also I'm pretty much like you. I don't open up emotionally to a lot of people. Only with the people I feel safe around or I feel their energy is safe for me. Only then I do it. Otherwise, I don't open up. And that is why I was continuously telling you that it's not necessary to, be vulnerable around people all the time.
Not
You
with every person, not every time.
You can have levels of intimacy. Matlab intimacy in terms of emotional bonding.
And we will talk more about this on the call, but
On call also, or maybe some episode down the line.
like this is such a vast topic. This can be its episode on its own vulnerability.
Chalo. So let's come to the rating and we'll quickly wrap.
Oh shit, how we the rating में तो भूल ही गया.
How would you rate morality in terms of its importance in life? Because अगर मैं सिर्फ morality बोलूँगी, then it has too many aspects. So morality and its impact in your life.
हाँ तो over time I have learned कि it's very very important to like have your own morals, have your keeping friends and family who have like very strong morals around.
You have to just rate it.
हाँ यार, I don't know what else to rate. It's 14 out of 40 यार, I don't know. अरे shit, थोड़ा acidic basic. हाँ तो
Yeah, completely basic. It's a basic need.
हाँ morality importance in life. हाँ 14 out of 14 I totally. What's your rating?
100% true, same rating because again, it's basic.
Wow.
It's the basic need. So I think it's off lately. This new upgraded version of me, 100% it is the base of how I live my life. I don't cater to bullshit because I have very strong boundaries. I have very solid boundaries, not only strong, solid boundaries, which I don't allow people to mess with.
Proud of you.
Then my bitch mode gets activated, even though I don't act upon it.
I've yet to see her like bitch.
Oh, you missed it.
I missed it, yeah.
You should have been around.
I should have been around. But koi nahi, next time. I want to see that bitch Harisha.
Lost. Okay. So I think that brings us to the end of this episode. We'll quickly wrap this up because we have to run somewhere else also.
Yes. So yeah.
You want to?
Drop your comments if you have any thoughts about this. Tell us your personal.
No. Tell us your moral thoughts on this. Like, what is the best morality thing and the worst thing? Even if you agree to us, you can still put it in the comments. I think that will help us understand audience's view also.
Yeah. And just in general as well, if you have any suggestions about how we are doing this podcast, if you want us to go in any direction, explore any other
Topics.
explore any other topic, like do it some other way, anything, any suggestion, just talk to us. Just drop down your...
Basically, just give us content engagement so that it can grow. But we will read your comments, even if it is one comment. I'll definitely read it. I don't know about him. He'll also read it.
Of course, I'll read it.
So yes, please like this video, share it with your friends and family who you think this is going to really help. स्पेशली ऐसे बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स तो सबके पास होते हैं जिनकी मोरालिटी ज़ीरो हो गई होती है कोई कोई सिचुएशन में, उनको भेजो, उनको बात करने पे पता चलेगा. एंड ऑन टॉप ऑफ इट, please hit the bell icon so that whenever I post another video, you are updated with it and you don't miss it out. या फिर ऐसा ना हो जाए कि 10 दिन बाद YouTube देखा अरे एपिसोड आ गया.
Yeah, agreeing.
And also subscribe because I'll be very soon coming up with tarot videos also. In line, a lot of work to be done, but definitely coming up with it. So I think that also helps.
Nice. Yeah, subscribe to her, and you can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast.
The link is in the description box below.
Okay, that.
And you can follow me on Instagram because this guy is not going to pitch his personal account. I'm going to pitch mine. I'll drop the link in the description box below to follow me on Instagram, to connect with me personally, to get a reading done, and more importantly, just see what kind of work I do.
Okay.
And I think that's all for today, and we'll see you in the next episode very, very soon.
Okay. Goodbye. Thank you for listening.
Bye. Yes, thank you for listening. See you soon.
See you.